Thank you for being here. Beautiful day, and we're so excited to celebrate progress and partnership. And incredibly grateful to be able to deliver our first two demo pilot trucks to a great partner, a very progressive company, TTSI, who, by the way, said, you deliver the trucks, we'll take care of the setting, don't worry about the weather, we handle everything at the port. And here we are. So the partnership is off to a great start. Also want to thank and recognize the various government leadership, private industry leadership, labor. We're so excited to be able to kick this event off and celebrate it with all of you. I'd like to give a special thanks to all of the Nikola employees that worked extremely hard to pull this off as well. And we're just excited just to get started. So we have a great morning that has been arranged for you. You will hear from various entities of leadership. We'll talk about the partnership. We'll talk about the trucks. And then you will have an opportunity to ride in one of the trucks after the event. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our CEO from Nikola, Mark Russell, and he'll formally kick off the event.
Thanks, Pablo. Welcome. We're very grateful for you for making the effort to be here today. I'm Mark Russell. I am the CEO of Nikola, and we're grateful, along with our launch partner, TTSI, to welcome all of you here today. I want to thank you not only for making the time to be here, but also for lending your voice to the growing crescendo of support for transportation technology, innovation, and infrastructure that will result in a sustainably cleaner envelope for this planet and reduce pollution on this planet for everyone, for generations to come, and starting right here in America's port. Nikola is on a mission. We want to leave the world a better place. We design and manufacture heavy-duty commercial battery electric vehicles, fuel cell electric vehicles, and the energy infrastructure solutions those vehicles need to move the things that all of us depend on. It has been quite a journey for us, starting with just an idea and a handful of people in a basement, literally, to standing here today after this unbelievable year of global pandemics and historic supply chain shortages, standing here now in one of the largest ports in the world, looking at the very first Nikola Tre zero-emission trucks to be delivered to a customer anywhere in the world, right here. We are out to change the world. That takes leadership, and a lot of leadership. We're grateful today to have some of those leaders here with us today. First, I want to recognize Congresswoman Nanette Barragan of California's 44th Congressional District, who's here hosting with us today. Thank you for being here. We're also joined today by California State Senator Stephen Bradford, and thank you, and distinguished representatives from the offices of, forgive me for this list, long list, Congresswoman Linda Sanchez, Congresswoman Norma Torres, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, California Governor Gavin Newsom's Office of Business and Economic Development, and the offices of California State Senator Ben Allen, the California State Assembly members Mike Gibson, Patrick O'Donnell, as well as Los Angeles County Supervisor Hilda Solis, are all with us here today. Thank you all for being here. Anybody I failed to mention in that list, please know we equally value your presence and support. Thank you for being here. So today we're really celebrating three things. First, we do want to recognize and honor the people in government, these legislators, these government executives who are working hard to help the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach deliver goods to consumers on time and with zero emissions. Each one of them is helping change the world with innovative legislation so future generations can thrive. We thank you for that. Second, we want to recognize the Nikola team. I'm so proud, unbelievably proud to be part of the team at Nikola. These people do extraordinary things to meet our commitments on the way to bringing these zero-emission products to the world. I want to thank each and every one of them. And special thanks also to our board chair, Stephen Gursky, who's here today, right here, who traveled here to be with us here today. And then third and finally, I want to recognize the innovative passion and vision of Vic LaRosa and the Total Transportation Services team, who have been so incredibly focused. They are like us. They are unbelievably focused on delivering freight safely and sustainably and without harming the planet. I don't know anybody in the world who has tested more zero-emission vehicles, heavy commercial vehicles, than TTSI. Nobody even comes close. And that's why we're grateful and proud to be partnering with them, experts in this, in delivering the first two of these trucks, which I would stack up against any truck in the world. So thank you. And now, it's my privilege to hand the microphone over to my co-host from TTSI board member Alex Charon. Come on up.
Thank you very much, Mark. Let's have one more round of applause for Mark and the Nikola team. Thank you, thank you. On behalf of the entire TTSI team, including President and co-founder Vic LaRosa, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, I want to thank Congresswoman Barragan and those other stakeholders who are in attendance with us here today to celebrate the delivery of these Nikola zero-emission trucks. They look pretty cool, yeah? They look pretty cool, right? Yeah. These trucks represent both the commitment that TTSI continues to make to both the port and our surrounding communities. These commitments are environmental in nature, as we know, as these zero-emission trucks will be amongst the cleanest in the entire drayage fleet servicing the ports of LA and Long Beach. But these commitments that TTSI and Nikola are making today are also operational. The Nikola trucks that you see before you and those that TTSI has ordered will allow our company, TTSI, to service its customer base, our BCOs, and the importers with the reliability and compliance needed in today's competitive market. When the ports of LA and Long Beach adopted their Clean Air Action Plan way back in 2008, who remembers that? Yeah? TTSI was among the first in the entire supply chain to step up and invest in new compliant technologies. Here we are nearly 13 years later, and TTSI is still delivering on that commitment in partnership with Nikola, and that deserves a round of applause. TTSI will continue to grow its footprint in the zero-emission space, and the delivery of these trucks today is a testament to that. TTSI would like to thank Mark and the entire Nikola team. I know you're in attendance, and we have a bunch of our TTSI members and our family in the audience as well, and want to thank them. I want to thank this partnership for providing the platform for our company to continue our important journey towards zero emissions. Thank you very much. With that, I believe I'm bringing up Alicia Guild. Round of applause for Alicia. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So great to be here. And on behalf of Calstart, I am honored to be at the Port of Los Angeles announcing this incredible new battery electric technology. My name is Alicia Gildy, and I lead up our clean fuels and infrastructure work. And Calstart, we're a nonprofit organization focused on advancing clean vehicle technologies, and we are so proud to be working with Nikola on advancing zero-emission transportation technologies. On my way here today, I was behind a diesel truck, and there was some pollution coming out of this truck. And though I was behind this truck, what I was really excited about was that I was on my way here to be a part of the future of zero-emission freight. There are three things that I wanted to speak to today as I'm here with all of these wonderful partners. One is the time is now. We have zero-emission vehicle technologies available today to help reduce the emissions on our communities, to help drive the climate solutions that we want to see a clean air future. Secondly, we have the technologies, as I mentioned. We have about 100 zero-emission truck technologies and bus technologies that are available. So we need to look at ways in which we can prioritize their advancements, especially where there's opportunities to help benefit our communities. Now talking about the tools. Now, how are we going to move these technologies forward? Well, Calstart, we're really honored to be given the opportunity to manage the California Air Resources Board Hybrid and Zero-Emission Truck Voucher Incentive Project. You may also have heard of this, HVIP. In this last year, we have advanced 225 million voucher incentives to help fund 2,000 zero-emission commercial vehicles. And guess what? Around the corner, we're going to see an additional 500 million to advance zero-emission commercial vehicles. Vehicles just like these. Calstart's also in the process of launching the California Energy Commission's Energized Commercial Vehicle Project. This will be a first of its kind, medium and heavy duty, zero-emission infrastructure incentive project to help buy down the cost of electric charging and hydrogen refueling. So we have incentives to help move this market forward. The other really exciting news is that the federal government is moving incentives forward as well. Through their Bipartisan Infrastructure and Investment Act, we're going to see $7.5 billion available to help build out the ecosystem we need to advance zero-emission vehicle technologies. So we have these incentives. We're going to need the incentives, but we're also going to need to be innovative. What are the strategies we're going to put in place to help drive these technologies? What are the infrastructure solutions? Now, this is a challenge. We all know that this is something we're going to have to overcome in terms of how do we build out that network and how do we build it out fast enough. But we can all work together to make it happen. The other thing that's really important is how we're promoting equity through the center of everything we're doing, making sure that we're bringing resources and clean transportation to every community throughout the state of California and around the world. What's been really encouraging is that we've been seeing states step forward to adopting the Advanced Clean Truck Rule. Just recently, Washington and Oregon have joined California in making commitments to adopting zero-emission commercial vehicles. We have 17 other states that have also made similar commitments. Around the world, at COP26, Calstart announced 15 countries that have made a commitment to zero-emission commercial vehicle sales, 100% by 2030. This is incredible news. So the momentum is there. There's some hard work to do. And when we're looking at these first of its kind, Class 8 battery electric trucks, it's important that we work with our partners like Nikola to move them forward. We know it's not going to be easy, but we believe that all of you are part of the solution. We're ready to work with you. We're ready to be of assistance, and we're ready to be a partner. And Nikola, thank you so much for inviting us. It's an honor to be here, and we're excited to help you move these technologies forward. Thank you.
Next up, we have Max Reyes, the Director of Economic Infrastructure at the Office of Los Angeles Mayor Garcetti.
Good morning, San Pedro. My name is Max Reyes. I'm the Director of Economic Infrastructure for Mayor Eric Garcetti. And on his behalf, I'd like to give a sincere congratulations to Nikola CEO Mark Russell, as well as TTSI board member Alex Sheeran for this amazing accomplishment of introducing Nikola's first battery electric trucks. And we couldn't be happier that it's here in our very own city of Los Angeles. And the mayor, he is so proud that the Port of LA is a vital economic engine for the city. And not only that, but throughout his administration, he's also prioritized establishing a sustainable port. And through the LA Long Beach Clean Air Action Plan, he did just that through setting the goal of eliminating all truck emissions serving the port by 2035. And as part of that, he has also championed the first ever Port Clean Truck Fund Rate that will dedicate funding to transition trucks to zero emissions. And this was just recently passed by our Board of Harbor Commissioners, and we couldn't be prouder of this historic achievement. And as the next speaker, Chris Cannon from the Port of LA, will tell you that in the first 3 years alone, we expect to receive $135 million that will, again, be dedicated just to zero-emission trucks as well as any associated infrastructure. And again, for this historic achievement, we'd like to once again thank our Board of Harbor Commissioners in the Port of LA for all their amazing work in achieving this pivotal policy. And these trucks that you're introducing today is right in line where we want to go, and is really going to help us meet our goal towards a zero emissions future here at the port. So thank you so much again. Congratulations, huge congratulations to Nikola and TTSI, and we very much look forward for things to come. Thank you so much.
It's time for our next presenter, Chris Cannon, the Chief Sustainability Officer here at the Port of Los Angeles.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting me and also the Port of Los Angeles to be a part of this event. We face a terrible crisis in the world, and I'm not talking about COVID. It's climate change. There is no bigger crisis after COVID facing this world than climate change. We are looking at, it's absolutely amazing to see how fast things are going. We read all the time on the internet about climate events that are the most significant ever, the most notable ever. We're constantly hearing about things that are occurring in the world that are a direct result of climate and a direct result of the change that's occurring because of the increase in greenhouse gases. And so it's very important that we do our part. The Port of Los Angeles in the Clean Air Action Plan actually identified in 2017 2035 as our goal to get zero emission drayage trucks. And that's a very, very important goal. It's just around the corner. So in order to meet that goal, we've got to get trucks on the road. And we're going to begin collecting a clean truck fee starting on April 1st. As Max said, we anticipate we'll collect over probably $130 million in fee money for trucks that are not zero emissions over the first 3 years. All of that money will go towards zero emissions, all of it. And so it'll be important that we get trucks out on the road. The thing that is important for us, for drayage and for zero emission technologies, is to get the trucks out there and get them operating, because it's still a new technology. It's still emerging. The battery electric trucks work, but a lot of people don't know about them. And so a lot of the operators need to get comfortable with them. They start to drive them, and whenever they do, they like them. But a lot of them are, comfortable with what they know, which is the trucks they've been driving for many, many years. And so just shifting to a new technology is pretty important. We're proud at the Port of Los Angeles to say that we've been involved with testing of zero-emission technologies really since 2005. I remember when we were working on the Clean Truck Program, I had someone come to me. It was around 2009. Sadly, it's a while ago. I'm showing my age. But they came to me and said, Chris, so I've got this truck. It's a zero-emission truck. I'm not going to tell you the manufacturer because it wasn't Nikola. But they said it was a small sort of, startup type operation. And they said, we want you to see it, and we want you to, get it going and talk to the operators and get them to use it. I said, okay, where is it? Well, it's in San Diego. I said, okay, well, can you drive it here? Not quite yet. So I said, well, I'll tell you what, come back to me and we'll talk when you can actually drive it here from San Diego. So that took 2.5 years. almost 3 years, and they finally were able to get the truck to here. And the guy said, "Chris, remember me? I'm the guy that talked to you 3 years ago. Now my truck is outside. Do you want to see it?" So we've come a long way from startup operations to companies like Nikola, which is a fully recognized and legitimate business that has an R&D budget and is recognized around the world as being able to produce quality equipment. And so we're very proud to have them be a part of this and to begin to introduce their equipment with the drayage truck operators here. As always, TTSI has been great in stepping up and helping us, and some of the other drayage operators as well have been very, very helpful. So we're in this for the long run. We want to make sure that we get zero-emission trucks on the road. Every single one that we put on the road is one less that we have to put on the road in the future. So let's keep doing it. We have to also, I want to tell you, we're going to focus on infrastructure because it's forgotten. You think put the trucks out on the road, but then you got to plug them in somewhere. You have to be able to maintain the trucks. You have to be able to have worker training, to have people who know how to operate on these trucks. And so workforce training is critical. And we need to make sure that the operators are, as I said, comfortable with this technology. And the only way for that to happen is for them to get out and use it. So we're proud to be here. I'm proud to be here. I'm excited about what this is happening here today. And I just want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank Nikola in particular for everything that they've done to put this truck into position to operate in drayage. And we're excited. Let's make this happen. Thank you very much.
Everyone, please welcome our next guest, California State Senator Stephen Bradford.
Good morning. Good morning. It is truly an honor to be here, and I want to thank Nikola and TTSI for this invitation to be here. I'm honored to represent the 35th Senate District that happens to have this amazing port, both Los Angeles and ports of Long Beach, and here today to express the importance of this innovation. I think this is an intersection of where we see innovation meeting investment, which is critically important as we talk about goods movement. And we've seen the impact of goods movements, not only just through COVID, but we know how important having vehicles like this to efficiently move cargo throughout the ports. The busiest port in America, if not in the world here, and making sure that 40% of all the nation's goods moves efficiently, it's going to be because of these new vehicles here, these clean emission vehicles. And I stand here as a strong proponent of cleaning an environment, but I'm going to be somewhat critical of government. Sometimes we get in the way, and sometimes we want to over-regulate and over-demand. And by this demonstration here today, it clearly shows that if we get out the way, businesses know what's important. Everybody wants a clean environment. I don't know a single person, I don't care what industry you're in, what you do for a living, who wants dirty air, dirty water, or dirty soil. So we need to trust that people will do the right thing, because we will. And we're all stewards of this earth, and we're challenged with leaving it better than what we found it. And this today is a clear example of that. I'm honored to also serve with members in the legislature who are very much committed to cleaning our environment, to Congresswoman Barragan, who represents this area too. Just 2 days ago, we were taking a tour of Carson and looking at some of the environmental impacts and the odor and the channel there. So we're all committed to that and making sure that we make sure not only California, this nation, but the world is better than what we found it. And someone stated earlier that this started really in 2008, but I'm here to tell you, as a recovering Edison employee, we started clean ironing and electrifying and working with the ports as early as 2001. And our biggest challenge was also just moving folks at a time when they weren't quite ready to get there. So to see us where we are today, but most importantly, make sure that we have innovation that still creates and protects jobs. So our friends with labor that are here today, it's critical that we have a partnership to make sure that they're involved in every step of the way, making sure we do it in a safe way and make it that it's profitable for the businesses here, but at the same time employ people and provide a great income and a great living for many of these folks who have worked here in the port for years. So on behalf of the state of California, I'm honored to be here, and I want to thank you for this opportunity, but more importantly, thank you for your commitment to these magnificent vehicles that are going to make this port the most efficient and cleanest port in the world. Thank you.
Now it's time to welcome Michael Erickson, Global Head of Trey Bev Program, and Lynden Lee, Global Chief Engineer and Head of Vehicle Systems at Nikola Corporation.
Thank you, Senator Bradford. And again, thank you to our federal, state, and local partners who are in collaboration to raise awareness on the important issues that impact our ability to create cleaner air and reduce pollution in our ports and in our communities. Good morning and hello, everyone. I'm Michael Erickson, Nikola's Global Head of Battery Electric Vehicles. What a proud and momentous day. A proud and momentous milestone for me to personally share with you here today our pre-series battery electric truck that our company celebrated coming off the line at our Coolidge, Arizona manufacturing facility just a week ago. The Trey Bev is a safe, reliable, purpose-built zero-emission transport solution that will drive change in the sector. It's developed with class-leading power for improved maneuverability and safety when hauling heavy loads, the longest range, up to 350 miles, and advanced driver interface technology and connectivity for fleet management. Moreover, it represents a culmination of bold visions, aspirations, ideals, and efforts of our collective journey to a more sustainable zero emissions future. A truly remarkable journey that requires technology and energy innovation, governmental initiatives, policies, and incentives, all fueled by social consciousness, industry transformers, ambassadors, and early adopters, like TTSI, the Port Authorities, LA Clean Tech Incubator, Calstart, and of course, many others that have joined in this purposeful mission. Before Mark and Alex join us again to officially hand over the keys of these transformational Class 8 trucks, I'd like to introduce you to my technical partner, the Chief Engineer, Lynden Lee.
Thank you, Michael. I really share Michael's enthusiasm for this moment. It's just a few short years ago, Nikola, together with Iveco, kicked off a partnership for both the Trey, battery electric truck, and fuel cell truck at the same time. These programs are critical for our future, and along with our supportive partners, Bosch, Romeo Power is here today, FPT, we've made a huge, huge impact on moving forward with zero emissions trucks. Today, roughly 2 years later, we're launching the Trey Bev into public hands with TTSI operating on public roads, hauling customer loads. So a huge step forward. This is truly an amazing accomplishment, developing and launching this zero emissions Class 8 truck in just 2 years. So this is made possible through the participation and support of many of you and many of others that aren't here today, but I just want to thank you for sharing in this momentous day with us. And now I'll turn it back to Michael. Or Mark, sorry.
Thank you. want to talk just for a second about the partnerships that were built to get us here today. It was very early on in the journey that we were talking about the trucks and the challenge of building them, and more importantly, the energy that they need to move, because that's the key. The key for any zero-emission truck is to have zero-emission energy to make it move. And it was very early on in the game that we had a meeting that we invited representatives from Bosch to be there. And they showed up, and some of those people you can meet here today because they now work with us. And the Bosch showed up and they said, hey, we're dedicated to building the future of heavy commercial transportation because, you know, if you don't know the history of Bosch, you know, Bosch basically invented the common rail diesel engine. Now all the diesels around the world owe a lot to Bosch. And credit to them for saying, yeah, we built the diesel world and we're now going to destroy it by creating the zero-emission world. They've been a great partner for Nikola. So on this particular truck, they've worked with us on the actual e-axle. If you look at this truck at the back at the wheels, the motors are actually right there at the wheels, and we call that system the e-axle. And those are big electric motors that can pull 82-ton loads at the kind of speeds that you need. And the rotors and stators in those motors, that they come from Bosch. Some of the power inverters, the electronic systems, we collaborate with Bosch on those. And then the next generation of these trucks will include a Tre fuel cell electric vehicle. These trucks will go up to 350 miles with the 750 kilowatts of batteries on board. By the way, that's the longest range battery electric truck that we know of that's being offered in the market right now. There's only been one that's even ever been talked about that's bigger, and then they stopped talking about that. So this should be the longest range battery electric truck in the world. But with batteries, you're only going to go about 300, 350 miles. That's great for the port operations mostly. But in some cases, you need to go farther than that. And also in some cases, you need to be able to get re-energized with a full complement of energy for that truck in a very short period of time. It's very hard for batteries to match up to fossil fuels on that basis. You can pull into a station and in 10, 15 minutes you can fill up your tank, whether it's a diesel or a car. To be able to do that with a heavy truck, you probably need to use hydrogen, which is why the Nikola Tre fuel cell electric vehicle, which is also going to be launched with TTSI here in the port. We'll have a delivery event for the first fuel cell trucks also with TTSI and our other launch partner, who's Anheuser-Busch, which will also be taking delivery of their first trucks here in Los Angeles at their huge Van Nuys facility. So we're super excited to be partnered up with Bosch. As we developed the first trucks, we had to come up with suspension systems that would make sense for these vehicles. We had to come up with braking systems. On suspensions, we worked with a company called Meritor. On braking systems, we worked with Wabco. They're expert at regenerative braking because every time these trucks slow down, the energy gets put back in the battery. It's absolutely awesome. So we worked with them. And then we had a really, really wonderful, fortunate opportunity when we met in Turin, Italy, the team that runs Iveco and CNHI. And Iveco is in the process right now of separating from CNHI and becoming a newly public company, which is great. They've been a great partner for us, and that will only increase their focus when that happens. And when we met them, they were about to introduce, I think, the newest diesel truck in the world. The Iveco S-Way was introduced in 2019. That's the last truck I know of that's been introduced in the world that's powered by diesel. I don't know anybody in the world who's working on a new one. Everybody who's working on new trucks is working on these kind. So that was the kind of the last gasp of diesel. And so it's the newest one, and we got to use that as a parts bin for this vehicle. So the parts that you don't need to innovate, you know, the tires and the wheels and the glass and the mirrors and things like that, those we wanted to take out of a stock parts bin because we're not innovating there. We're innovating on the stuff that makes it move. And they had the newest parts bin in the world in terms of validation and supply chain. So they've been a wonderful partner for us as well. I think, do we have the Congresswoman here? Yes, she's here. because we've got two things left to do. We want to make sure the Congresswoman has a chance to talk to you in just a minute. And then I've got two sets of keys right there that I'm going to hand over to TTSI just a minute here. And then they can drive these trucks off, and you guys can take a ride in that gray one right back there. Is she here? Here she is. Congresswoman Nanette Barragán.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I want to say thank you to Mr. Russell and the Cola Corporation for your leadership in advancing the transition of the goods movement to a cleaner and healthier zero-emission future. Isn't this an amazing backdrop? I also want to thank TTSI for your commitment to invest in zero-emissions technology, which will have a profound impact on improving our air quality and public health. With a 350-mile range, this battery electric Class 8 drayage truck is capable to moving containers from the Port of Los Angeles to Las Vegas, Arizona, and even parts of Northern California on a single charge. That is a great accomplishment. Now, this is important because thousands of trucks move cargo within this distance to rail yards and warehouses located in other environmentally vulnerable communities, mostly communities of color, here in Southern California. Now, trucks travel in and out of the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. They emit nearly 2,600 tons of nitrogen oxide every year, along with high levels of carbon dioxide, diesel particles, and other harmful pollutants. This is a major reason why people living in port communities such as Wilmington and right here in San Pedro and other working class communities along our major freight corridors are burdened with higher rates of asthma and have a lower life expectancy than residents of wealthier communities. The transition to zero emissions is underway, and the technology is available today, but it's not happening quickly enough. That's why it's so important that we in Congress get across the finish line the Build Back Better Act, which the House has already passed just before Thanksgiving, but now is in the Senate. And despite what you read in the media, despite the media reports, we are continuing to push to make sure we get it across the finish line. Now, I have a bill called the Climate Smart Sports Act. And based on that bill, the Build Back Better includes $3.5 billion in investments in zero emissions technology to reduce diesel-fueled equipment and trucks to reduce air pollution at ports. Now, I have led the fight for this investment since the last session of Congress. We don't have to choose between our economy and good jobs or public health and the environment. Investing in zero emissions technology for ports is a win-win that can create good-paying jobs and union jobs while reducing toxic air pollution. To further advance the use of zero-emission medium and heavy-duty vehicles, the Build Back Better Act, I like to just call it the BBB, it's so much easier, includes significant funding to install the specific electric vehicle charging infrastructure needed for these vehicles to be successfully implemented across the nation. This is based on my bill, the Medium and Heavy Duty Vehicle Electrification Act. And it's something we've heard a lot about, and saying you can bring the trucks, but we need the infrastructure. So the transition to a zero-emission future requires bold leadership and collaboration from federal, state, and local partners, along with major investments from the private sector. I want to thank Nicola and TTSI for their vital role in the clean energy transition. Your dedication to using this technology will reduce air pollution and improve health outcomes in our communities. And so thank you all for being here today. Thank you for what you do. And I want to turn it back over to Mike and Alex.
Thank you so much for being here, Congresswoman Barragan. Thank you. Now we're at the end. One last thing to do. I want to thank you all for being here today and for being part of this. And if you want to, you can stick around and you can watch that thing through its paces and watch these two drive off. And if you want to, you can get a ride in the one back here that has the trailer and is painted gray back there. And without further ado, Alex, these are the keys.
Great. Thank you very much. One last thank you on behalf of the TTSI family. Thank you to our partner in Nikola. Thank you to our port partners. Thank you to our supply chain partners. Thank you to our labor partners from IBT. And thank you all for coming. Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.